Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm so excited because my friend, my personal and close friend, Karen, is with us today, and she's going to be sharing her God story, which is so incredible, so inspiring, so touching, and I can't wait for her to share it. And we've been friends for a little bit, and we'll get into that in a little while, but it's incredible how God brought us together. So you're going to want to stick around to find out how God brought her and myself together and how she has been one of the pillars of this ministry that God has called me to, even in the days when I wasn't sure. But Karen, why don't you introduce yourself to our friends?
My name is Karen Busse. I live in Morris, Oklahoma, which is about 45 miles south of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I married a man who had 3 children, and so they're mine now. I have 2 sons and a daughter and 4 grandchildren because of marrying him. And those grandchildren are my life.
They sure are.
Yeah,
They are. Yes, I think I know more about their lives than I do about yours.
probably so.
So, Karen, James and I moved out to Oklahoma to pastor a church out there. And James said, we need to start small groups. And he looked at me and he said, well, Nichole, are you ready to lead a small group? And I was like, no. He said, well, we have to lead in this thing. You can't not lead a small group. So I said, fine, I'll do it. I'll lead a small group. And I picked Women of the Bible, that book, and just put it out there for whoever wanted to join. And you were one of the, let's see, how many of us were there? 1, 2, 3, like 6 of us? 7?
I think so.
Yeah, 7 of us who came together, who none of us knew each other.
Right.
None of us had ever met. We came together in my living room and started the study of Women of the Bible. Now, what I think is funny is we said it was going to be an hour. In week 1, it was an hour. Week 2 was an hour. Week 3 was an hour. Week 4, an hour and 10. By week 7 or 8, I think we'd go to like 3 hours.
I think so.
And it started becoming an forever thing. And then we just started going places together, and that was it. It knit us together as best friends, a group of us ladies that have come together with the one goal of growing closer to Christ together. And then we just kind of come together in every other areas of our lives because of that. It has been incredible, right? Well, you told me when I met you, you had this incredible God story. And I just so badly want people to hear this story. Ladies who may feel kind of at the end, like they don't know that God has anything next for them. They've come through divorce, or they're widows, or they've been single for so long, or they're single parents and they feel like there's nothing past this moment. And you kind of came to a time like that in your lives. And would you mind sharing your God story with us?
Sure. I had been married almost 25 years. I liked a month being married 25 years when I went through a divorce. That was one of the most hardest things I ever went through. I had to go to my preacher to see if I had rights to go through the divorce. And he said, well, God doesn't like divorce, but yes, I did have right. And I had to pray about that a lot. I went through that, and then this wonderful man came into my life named Roger, and I had known him. He and I had worked together years ago when we were both married for other people, of course. So we already had a respect for each other, and our relationship was built on respect. And he had 3 children, and I had no biological children, so they became mine. And I was there for all of the grandchildren's birth except one, because she was born in South Dakota. But I lost Roger after only being married to him 11 and a half years. Devastated me. Although when I look back on it now, my divorce, I think, was harder for the fact that Roger wouldn't have left me. God took him home. And only thing I was upset about was, why didn't he take me too? I knew Roger was okay. Roger and I had plans that when he retired, we had already bought our land and a place to move to Branson, Missouri. And we wanted to work with Barbara Fairchild's ministry. And she helps women who are coming out of things that you were just talking about, maybe even abusive situations. We knew we could move furniture or help out whichever way to support her ministry. But he died before we got to move there. And we did visit her ministry when we were in Branson, vacationing. And so I never did know why I was wanting to do this women's ministry. But then I met Nichole through our church, through our small group, and then knew then that she had a purpose to do something. And I'd always told her she was going to have a book in one of these bookstores one of these days. I knew she had something to tell to the women of the world, and I wanted to support her any way I could. And so I just felt like God had led me to Barbara Fairchild's ministry, knowing that I was going to be wanting to be behind Nichole's ministry in the future, not having met her at the time or anything. So God put me in your life, and I am so thankful for that. There's so many things that just let me to know I'm in the right place, supporting your ministry and wanting you to reach the women.
Yes. I remember when we met, and it was it was a little bit after we met. And I remember we were sitting in my living room going through a study, and I said, I just feel like God has this on my heart to reach women, and I don't even know if I want to. I don't even know if I'm supposed to. I don't even know what that message is. And Karen saying, oh, you've got a book in you. You're going to write a book one day. And I'm thinking, I don't even know if I want to do this yet. And Karen says, oh, no, I know this. But I remember you saying about Barbara Fairchild that when your husband passed away, which was sudden, am I right?
Yeah.
It was a sudden passing. That you thought that had died with him as well, that was over, and this dream that God had put in your heart was just gone. It was just, that was it. It was over. And then God brought us together, and our paths crossed, and God revived that dream inside of you. And here we are today. And the crazy thing is, what I love about your story, and just that feeling of, it felt like loss after loss, and God had put a dream in your heart for women, but not just for women, to back women who are stepping out to do it. God has called us all to do something different. Some of us have been called to be the person who steps out and does it, and others have been called to lift the arms of those who do it. And God had put that on your heart a long time ago. And so you and your husband bought land. I mean, you were focused on doing what God had called you to do. Am I right?
That's right. Yes, because he woke up. I was outside feeding my animals, and he came out and told me, he said, get me a baby aspirin. And this man would never ask me to get him a pain medication for anything. I knew something was terribly wrong, and took him to the hospital, which he didn't want to go. And he was life flighted to Tulsa and died on the operating table 9 hours later for ascending aneurysm. So that's such a healthy man, and so this was such a shock. And you're so right. I felt like everything had just died again for me, what our dreams were. But this was on the 15th of December, and I had a lady came to my house, and which my house was decorated for Christmas, and she said, oh, you'll probably never decorate for Christmas again since he died so close to Christmas. And I said, well, out of the mouths of babes comes a lot of wisdom. My 5-year-old grandchild told me, said, well, Jesus got the best Christmas present of all this year. He got my poppy for Christmas. So yes, I'm going to decorate for Christmas and still tell why we have Christmas, and knowing that my grandkids know the reason makes me feel so good. And yes, I'm going to tear up saying all this.
Yeah, you're getting me over here.
Yeah. But just knowing that I needed to stay focused and stay in the Bible and stay in the Word, because I don't know how people make it when they don't have God to turn to. Yeah. Because that's the first person I went to for help to get me through this.
Yes.
definitely I didn't get angry with him, and I know God's got big shoulders. He
Mm-hmm.
could have taken it if I would have gotten angry at him.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Like, I did ask why he just didn't take me with him,
Mm-hmm.
But I knew I was left here for a reason, and I hope I'm going to be a good role model for my grandchildren. That's really important to me, that they know I have a Christ-centered life, and then to know I support you. I am not the front person. I am not the one going to be writing the books and preaching and things, but I do want to uplift you in prayer and tell other people about you, which I do all the time.
Yeah, you do. I think you more than anybody ever.
Yes. I've mentioned you constantly. Anybody I've not met before, because I was in assisted living for a few weeks. I had hip surgery, replacement surgery, and got to meet some new nurses and things I never met. Boy, I just tell them all about you and hand out your cards. Wanted them to know, and they're so thankful that they've come to know,
Mm-hmm.
through She Connects and everything. So
Exactly.
I just know we were meant. I know God put us together. I just know we did.
He did. And that desire in your heart, even though you thought it was for Barbara, her child, he's like,
Right.
hold on, I've got somebody else for you. You're going
Yes.
to step into that dream and into that calling, that purpose I have for you. It's going to look different. And the
Right.
process there may be a little painful, but that's exactly where I want you to be.
Right.
And if it wasn't for our group, if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for us sitting around in my living room and you guys telling me, yes, you need to do this. Yes. And then sitting through the very first study I ever wrote and week to week going through it.
Yes.
With us, this wouldn't even be possible. I know God, he'd find a way, but he had purposed for you to be in my life, for you to be in that group, for you to lift my arms, my hands, to be a foundation and a pillar in this ministry. And I just want to thank you for not giving up, for not quitting on your relationship with God, for seeing that he still has purpose as long as you have breath. He still has purpose for you. And then for recognizing it when God put it in front of you. And I know you had so many plans with your husband, and when it feels like there's a little bit of pain attached to that, a lot of people don't want to step back into that because it's not the same, and the plan they had, they can't let go of. But you just stepped right into the plan God had for you, and you let go of the previous plan you had for the new plan that God had for you. And I just want ladies to know that it is possible to continue past your pain, for God to have a plan and a purpose past your pain. And just open your eyes and allow God to show you what that is, and don't back away from it. As Karen is a perfect example of that. And let me tell you, ladies, if anybody wants to talk about it, she will sit down with you. She is patient. She will hear you out. She will give you sound advice, truth in love.
Right.
She will be there with you because she's been through it and she's not afraid to talk about it. And she's been through the pain and she's healed and allowed God to walk her through that pain. Karen, I just want to thank you so much for sharing what God has done. And if for any ladies that are going through great loss right now, and I know as the world is going through a great loss right now,
right,
the loss of life, the loss of norms in the family dynamic is a lot harder to go through.
Yes.
So if you had to say anything to any of the ladies who are struggling, who've lost a husband, whether that be through death or divorce, or a significant one in their life who maybe they've been dating for a long time or engaged, but now that's fallen apart. If you can say anything to them, what would you tell them?
Well, I do believe our purpose on earth here is to help each other. I feel like God has put me through these situations. I would like a break every once in a while, though, but I do feel like you go through these things so that you can help other people who are struggling, who are maybe angry and don't know what to do, but God will see you through it. You just have to believe and know that we do bear each other's burdens. We really do. That's what we're here for,
Yes.
to help each other. And anything that I could say, I'm not saying life is a breeze or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I do know God has a purpose for me, and my life did not end. I will never stop loving Roger. I mean, every day people will say, oh, it's Christmas or it's his birthday. And I said, well, I don't miss any more on those days than I do any other day.
Mm.
And neither will anyone else who's close to their partner. It's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And some days you'll just have a whole pity party day, and I have to just be by myself. But most of the time I choose happiness. I choose to be out. I be with my friends and, in contact with them. And it just makes my day, and keep focused on good things in life. You just, you have to.
I love that. I choose happiness.
Yes.
I think sometimes we forget it's a choice, and we can go down the spiral of pain and hurt, and that's real. It's real.
Yeah,
it's very real
is.
in our lives. And God created us with those emotions.
Right.
He created us. So they're not wrong. They're not bad. They're not odd, but they can't be the dominant emotion in our life. We can still choose joy in the midst of our pain and in the midst of our hurt. And I love that you talked about carrying each other's burdens. That's what She Connects all about. We connect with God, we connect with people, we connect the dots. Being able to pray for each other, to put our prayer requests out, to encourage each other with scriptures, to encourage each other with something funny, with something we've read that has changed our lives, sharing those things. It's about connecting with each other. The Bible, I've been reading a ton in the Bible lately about loving each other. And I'm not talking about the world. I'm not talking about loving your enemies. I'm not talking about any of that thing. It's talking about loving other believers.
Yes.
And I once heard a pastor talk about love, and I've always had a hard time grasping what love is. Like, how do we love? And I know how I specifically love, but like, how do you love the whole world? And he said, the way you love is by adding value to the people, to the lives of people around you, to the lives of other believers. And so how you add value is however God has gifted you to do that. So we can love each other, we can connect with each other, we can support each other in this group. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have started this group. And for Karen, I think you were the second one in this group. I have a list of like the first 100. I think you're number 2. It's so funny. And so I just want to say thank you again. For encouraging me, for, a lot of people, you see these groups or you see ladies who teach or preach or have books or do so many things, but you have no idea the people behind the scenes that have helped, have encouraged, have prayed, have supported financially, emotionally, spiritually, to allow these things to happen. And so I just want to introduce you ladies to Karen, who is one of those who's behind the scenes, who has fulfilled the purpose God has put on her life. When He put her together in her mother's womb and wove her together with purpose and calling, this was it. And that is just incredible. And even though she went through so much loss and so much pain, God has continued to work through her life. And I'm so grateful for that. So ladies, in the comments, just a simple thank you to Karen here and encouragement, and know that you're not alone in your pain and you're hurt, and you can reach out to Karen at any time. She'd be more than happy to pray with you or walk with you through this, because she really is. When she says that she believes we are to be there for each other when we've been through things, it's to help others. She truly means that. So reach out to her. She would love to pray with you, walk with you, talk to you, listen to you, whichever it may be. But my friends, thank you so much for joining us. Karen, thank you so much. I pray you have a blessed weekend, and we will see you on Monday for Connect with God. Love you guys.
Thank you, Nichole.